Yeah guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Imaginators Soul Seekers series here on the channel. This is the 15th episode, so the Starcast giveaway has been said and done with already. I accidentally entered selfie mode where when I meant to do was press the R1 button to get into Sprocket's Tactics over here, because by acquiring the top score we can earn ourselves another Imaginator chest, which would be fantastic, and this is one and only time where I need to have to worry about this minigame. Because like everything else about Sprocket, this minigame kinda sucks. And I'm not much surprised, because again, it has something to do with Sprocket, and Sprocket also sucks. And I'm not kind to Sprocket, am I? But you know what, I would be a lot more kinder to her if she was a lot better in the first place. You know, it's a skill issue. Skill issue being that she has none. That being Sprocket specifically, she is one without any skill. Other Skylanders, They tend to differ, fortunately for us, so let's continue going around shooting everything. That would be fantastic. That is aim of the game after all. The aim of the game is to aim at things and shoot them. So doing that successfully would in fact be glorious. So boom, that thing's down, but by the sounds of it we have, or by the looks of it I should say specifically, we still have another base which needs to go down. And our base, we need to make sure that it's not depleted of health, because in that case the game would end and we would be unable to acquire the high score. And I want to acquire the high score as fast as possible, because as I said earlier, the sooner we do that, the sooner we can end this minigame already and not have to worry about it for any longer. Not ever again, in fact. Then again, I think also if Sprocket's health is reduced to 0, then that also ends the game. So either scenario is the scenario we do not want. We do not want our base being destroyed, and we do not want our character losing all their health. So let's continue taking out these, and then I'm hoping that taking down the enemy bases is going to earn us a lot more points in the process. Because yes, surprise, surprise, more points from Mary. Who could have possibly seen that coming? So just like that, it looks like we've acquired a high score already. But we're just going to rub it in this guy's face. There you go, that's more like it. And obviously we couldn't have gone good conscience quit the game before destroying that one very specific tank. Okay, that's great. Thanks for that short fuse. Awesome name for an NPC, by the way. But we will take that treasure, Imaginate chest. We will add its ultimate piece to our collection. In fact, it's been welcomed into the collection with open arms. But that is a very specific piece which can only be acquired from completing this minigame. Because as you can tell, the Imaginator right there, the wrench intentionally is there to remind you of Sprocket's wrench, because it's the same wrench. No wonder why it reminds you of such things. But yeah, they just had to give us an Imaginator's weapon of the Smasher class, that weapon being Sprocket's wrench. And you know what, I'm okay with it, because that looks a lot better than Sprocket's regular wrench anyway. That there, Wrenchinator. And speaking of weaponry, that isn't quite a Smasher's weapon, but we did get a swashbuckle weapon instead, the size. Note that they're more powerful than the weapons we've unlocked already, so the size are kind of worthless by comparison. Sal, that was rude. There I was minding my own business, and now you're trying to force me into stuff that I didn't want to do. I did not consent to this. So let us, without further ado, pop that, open up the vault, and garner ourselves some treasure on the way. Do not mind if we do, because as you can tell, this here Robo isn't quite as maxed out a treasure as my previous one was, and that's because this is the second Robo, which actually I acquired as part of the Lost Imaginate Mines. When I sent out the Lost Imaginate Mines prize, I wound up sending what was originally my Robo instead of the one I bought. So yeah, funny how I got those two things mixed up, but I still did reset the Robo in the end before shipping out the prize, and it arrived to the winner successfully, so that warmed my heart a little bit, knowing that the winner righteously got their prize in the end, mind you. I was worried for a moment about the shipping, because the shipping was to South Africa of all places, but yes, that's what worked out, which is why I'm glad that they received the prize and that nothing went wrong during the shipping of said prize. That is down, and we are going to grab that final egg at long last before I continue talking about South Africa and the winner of the Lost Imaginate Mines giveaway, which was episodes ago now. In fact, it would have been for episode 12, and we're already at episode 15 instead, which obviously is going live months and months later. If we stuck to the original schedule, then this episode should have gone live literal months ago, but instead we're here now, and the time has still gone awfully quick. That's how we managed to get through so much time without tackling this series along the way. I just kind of lose track of time, first of all, and then second of all, like, you leave it for a day, and then the next thing you know, you leave it for a week, and then a week turns into a month. So time, in other words, has gone far too quickly, and these months have passed without me even like having the time to let it sink in that we are already, and this is as of recording of this episode, we're already in the 4th month of 2024. We're already in April, and by the time this episode goes live, it'll be even later than that, because this episode goes live in May. Already, we are in May of 2024. How absurd is that? It feels as though the year has had only just begun, and yet here we are, almost halfway through it already. So yeah, you put stuff off, and what I'm saying here is that a day turns into a week, turns into a month, which is why procrastination is one thing that you want to avoid at all costs, especially when it comes to schoolwork. Because trust me, doing your schoolwork sooner rather than later will result in the best possible outcome. Do not procrastinate when it comes to assignments. Get it done ASAP, because then, as soon as it's done, you don't need to worry about it again. That was some terrible jump timing, but in the end, we still got the Imaginite chunks, which is important because we need to be successful on these challenges in order to acquire Imaginite from our bonus goals. So not failing these is of the utmost importance. And so far we are so good, despite the horrendous timing at the beginning of the rail section. But horrendous timing at the beginning of the section, fortunately for me, does not correlate to horrendous timing throughout the rest of the section there, mind you. Plus, if we had failed it, we can very easily just restart for grind section by purposefully running ourselves off the rails, mind you. But since we didn't fail anything, we don't need to worry about that tactic right there. So without further ado, let's make sure to time that jump correctly, which we did, because yay me, I am officially awesome. Made official by yours truly, of course. I am the official spokesman for awesomeness, hence why I can speak on the matter and have an opinion on the matter. And hey, what do you know, Light is stronger here. So without further ado, let's be taking Robo off the portal and replacing him with none other than Blastertron. He started this level after all, so it's only right that he proceeds to play through more of it. He doesn't finish the level, however, because we have other elemental switch outs to come. Why, thank you, Sam. That's a very kind and warm welcome right there. Without further ado, now that we've been warmly welcomed, let's murder everything! This is great, this is fantastic. I love myself some of this, I do, I love it. See yous, fellas, wouldn't want to be yous. Yeah, we want to defeat as many enemies as possible to ensure ourselves we get the enemy goal, because what we're going to do is that as soon as we gain access to the winged mechanic in Dragon Temple, we're going to come back here. We're going to complete it with the bazooka characters at a later date. But we're going to come back here, and we're only going to focus solely on what collectibles we missed. As soon as we gather all of the collectibles we've missed, we're going to quit out of the level, and then obviously collectibles you acquire along the way are auto-saved. So when you exit out of the level, you exit out of the level with that additional collectible star and the additional area found star. Which obviously we'll get when we go through into the extra hidden area behind the winged mechanic there, mind you. So what we're going to do now is let's put Painyard in the bottom right hand corner, because I feel like it. I'm not playing this particularly well, but that largely comes from my lack of concentration in the video game right now. I'm too busy thinking ahead for obviously when we garner 400% completion of this level. But say, as soon as we come back to the level, we can speed run through to the collectibles we're missing as fast as possible. As soon as we collect them, we can quit out of the level, and we will have earned our level stars. We don't need to beat the level for those stars to register, we just need to earn the stars in the first place, and having earned those stars will also result in us earning more Imaginite chests. Obviously, something we are in desperate need of, because we haven't yet collected enough Imaginite. We can't acquire 100% game completion without all of the Imaginite in all, so the more of it we collect, the better and all that. So let's push these fellas back into place right now. Yeah, say everything we do this first time around basically means nothing, and you don't even need to go through this level as fast as possible because there is no speedrun objective to be found here, which is rather convenient. You know what I'm saying that out loud. So what we're going to get is not triple underpants, unfortunately, even though triple underpants would have been way cooler than whatever the fuck this is right now. I mean, thumbs up, that's just dull by comparison. Who would want thumbs up when you can get underpants instead? That sounds way better. So let's grab that treasure too whilst we're at it, head through the huts, pop back here, and obviously seek out the soul of Painyard without further ado. That will be the final magic soul we have yet to have seeked out. So let's preview him and get a taste of what he has to offer. I mean, he buffs, can he? you can't go wrong with a character who quite literally buffs Candy. That is pretty smoking awesome. Anyway, now that we've collected that, we can also pop in here. Obviously, we're going to be pushing these into place next, but that's not going to be without first having opened this here vault, because the vault seems pretty awesome there, mind you. Pop, and we pop it once more. And that's what I'm talking about. Let's pop that into place, because that's going to open up the stairway down there. Yeah, you give me some of that sweet thumbed up glory, which again, the thumbs up might be inferior to the underpants, but is at least something to go by. I mean, Bastron is very clearly enjoying it from his reaction right now, so let's grab ourselves all that treasure, and in the process we're going to defeat the enemy, doubly ensuring that we can obviously complete upon those enemy goal objectives, because those are awful important, so to say. But regardless, I said earlier about waiting until later to complete these shrines. There's no point in waiting until later. We might as well do them now, especially since we have access to both of these characters. And there is a very small, minute chance that we lose the bazookas along the way, because obviously Escado is defeated in combat, its class is dead and cannot be used without remaining of locks. The last thing we need to do is have that happen to both of our bazooka characters, and then make 100% objective impossible, because we wouldn't be able to access the bazooka shrine with both of the unique characters. So yes, that is why it would be infinitely better to guarantee acquiring those Imaginite chests by obviously tackling the bazooka shrine whilst we're here. Oh yeah, we're ready to rock it, alright. Ready to rock it! So, here comes our final bazooka character for the shrine. Oh, we popped. Yep, those bazooka pelts did not stand a chance right there. And we even created a firework in the form of Flarewolf's face. And he has a very, very cute, very superior face compared to all the other faces. So that, my friends, is why I'm glad to have seen Flarewolf's face in that fiery form there, mind you. So let's grab this, pop over here with might of our speedrunning skills, blow this up, and then actually what we're going to do is swap back to Blastron here, because the element of the area is still dedicated to that of the light element, so we have to remain as the Skylander corresponding to the current element of the area in order to obviously adhere to the rules of the Soul Seeker series. So without further ado, let's jump on the button. Something I never could have figured out about that very useful hint right now. That very useful hint is what has literally saved the game right now. Would be soft lock, because I'll never be able to figure it out otherwise. So thank goodness for that very useful hint telling me exactly what it is that I didn't have the brain cells to come up with myself. Now with all sarcasm aside, let's go on ahead and grab this fella right here. Let's be spinning whilst we're at it. Sweet. Or should I say, spin? Because, you know, that's what we just did and all that. So don't mind if we do have all that experience right there. We are going to ignore the Smasher Soul Gem for now, because I do not trust the Smasher Imaginator to get past the Smasher Doomlander unscathed. And as I said earlier, when we come back to this level to find all areas, if we collect collectibles along the way, then that means that when we exit out the level, our stars will be saved automatically after having collected them, rather than having to get to the end of the level. But at the moment, we have to get to the end of the level regardless in order to advance further through the game. So now that we've seeked out the Soul Chain Reaction, we are going to be previewing him. But yes, the character tackling the Smasher Doomlander is going to be Legendary Tri-Tip, because he did it on hard mode once already in the Skylanders Imaginators versus series. So all he needs to do this time around is do it a second time. Yeah, get that fella out of here. Get him out of here, man. Yeah, get him out of here. And he's so out of here because we got him. Oh, some popcorn too, don't mind if we do. Which is a bit of a rhyme, therefore making me purr out even knowing it. Oh, that guy wants to go, does he? He wants to go. Oh, he has made a huge mistake. Bop, bop. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay, watch out before we get hit, because that would be very rather inconvenient indeed. It would. Boom, boom. Shake the room right there. Oh, these guys really do not stand a chance today, especially not against combos such as these. Let's get them! Oh, I love this character. I love it so much. And you wonder why he's a top tier sensei. That gameplay right there proved the reasoning behind as to why Blastatron is without a doubt a top tier sensei. So without further ado, let's go on ahead. And luckily, we don't need to acquire the high score in this game, because getting ourselves all the way up to the score of 714,930, that would be a very long, boring and tedious task. So thank goodness we don't have to worry about that. Instead, we just need to worry about getting to the end here, where we of course have our usual formula to have to put up with, that being Kaos's Doomlanders once more. And there we are, with the very Doomlanders I was alluding to earlier. So without a Imaginator corresponding to the battle class of the Doomlander, so without a Smasher Imaginator to take it on, instead we're going to have to take on the Smasher with a Smasher class Sensei. And that is where Legendary Tri-Tip will come in, because he too is a Smasher class character. So a Smasher class Sensei is going to be taking out the Smasher class Doomlander. Simple as that, and we still continue to adhere to the rules of the series. That's practically what this entire episode has been. This entire episode has been me dedicating myself to being squeaky clean from following the rules like a good child, even though, why would I do that? I should be way more rebellious. After all, rules were made in the first place specifically for breaking. Everyone knows that. Rules were made for breaking, no other reason. Okay, here we go. Let's take him out some more with the might of just this absolute awesomeness, because man, this guy is a unit! And we about to swing right now. Has this guy not got his soul gem yet? Because it seems to be taking a hot minute for his meteor to spawn in. Apparently he has got it, but the meteor, it just said no today. It doesn't feel like functioning correctly, apparently. It's never mind, right? As I said that, talk about perfect timing right now.
Perfect timing!
But now, How to Train Your Dragon references out of the way, let's get back to the fight at hand, where already we're done with the first phase, because this character is such a unit. I am quite the gamer, yes. Tri-Tip is far too overpowered for the might of this puny sensei, puny Doomlander, I should say. I almost feel sorry for said puny Doomlander. Almost, at least. Boom! We batter up again, because I'm awesome at baseball, apparently. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're talking about. The best thing is that you can stack damage so easily with this guy down the pathway I've chosen for Legendary Tri-Tip, specifically because of all of the like rock clusters that are left on the ground from every pound of your mace you conduct. Plus, his mace has a projectile in and of itself as it throws up chunks of rock towards his enemies. So it's badass in the same way as Blastatron's sword, you know, having a melee attack that deals really stupid damage up close and personal. And it doesn't even matter if you're up close and personal or not, because projectiles will certainly hit the enemies where the melee attacks fail. Okay, here we go. Take out the frickin' Spellpunk and we should be fine, because fire Spellpunks in 2D don't end well for us, shall we say. A 2D plane and fire projectiles do not mesh very well, to say the least. I could say more, but it's not, which is why at least it's being said all the same. Okay, we have to be very careful here, because that fire Spellpunk is still trying to hit me from afar. It's being awfully rude in the process, but luckily we're almost done with this guy. He's not got too much longer to go. And I want to keep Legendary Tri-Tip alive, because that would be awesome. And what do you know? For once, I got what I asked for. Asking you shall receive. The video game did not say no. A rare occurrence, that, but we will take it. The only one saying no is Kaos, and not the video game. So, yay, that's awesome. And what's also awesome are all of these new Imaginate pieces we've garnered from defeating the Doomlander. We've got ourselves a new catchphrase start. The password is... What is it? Let me know. Don't leave me hanging. Well, that is a really anticlimactic punchline right there. Techno? Of all things, the password is sodden techno? You'd make a better password out of the word password. If only password was the catchphrase end, then you could have the password is password.
Bravo, Skylander, bravo!
Yes, I do believe bravo's in order.
We're almost there.
Yes, we are almost there, but we have a battle gong to be dealing with first, and a battle gong whilst Tri-Tip here, Legendary Tri-Tip, is at only 400 health. Wish me luck, for I'm going to need it. Okay, cool, that's off to a decent enough start. We'll take it, because we haven't been hit so far. Okay, apparently that hit us, because the hitboxes in this game are jank, to say the absolute least. Could say more, I'm just not, which is why Lisa's being said over save, and I should really initiate my concentration mode before I wind up dead, which, as we explained about earlier, is the last thing we want to happen to us. Oh, if only it was as easy as the bad bounce committing Sudoku on itself, that would be great. Anyway, we're going to use Sal for cover right there, we're just going to throw him into the line of fire. This is not a get down, Mr. President type moment. This moment is many things, but that is not one of them. And we batter up. Yes, we were within the hitbox of that, just barely. Mind you, but just barely counts all the same. Okay, let's finish him off. Sweet! Even with 400 health, the enemies didn't stand a chance against the might of Tri-Tip and his just general overpowered attitude. Yes, because being overpowered is an attitude. In fact, I would dare even go as far to say that it is a way of life. It is Tri-Tip's way of life, in fact. I mean, he literally causes the extinction of all of the enemies around him, utilizing the exact same thing that brought about the extinction of his own species. It's a bit soon for that. But the irony is fucking spectacular. You know, it should be something that's considered a rather sensitive area to try to... You know, I know for one that if the human race was brought to extinction by something, then I certainly wouldn't want a human being in a form of media from what other alien species it is we're talking about. I wouldn't want those aliens to create a human character who utilizes the weapon that causes our own extinction. Which, ironically enough, would probably be ourselves. You know, if anyone's going to cause the extinction of mankind, it is mankind in and of itself. So yes, I very much wouldn't like aliens making a video game where a human character uses a human being as a weapon. That would be a little sensitive. You know, I'd come back from the dead just to tell the alien species, too soon, man. Too soon. But yes, the irony behind the matter is what makes Tri-Tip that much more appealing to me. As well as anyone else who's ever played him, because anyone who's played him instantly will fall in love with just how overpowered his character is. If you don't, then there is something universally wrong with your opinion. And I'm not afraid to say it neither. I'm not sorry to say it neither. You know, your opinion, in that case, would just be wrong. I don't make up rules, I just reinforce them. And as per the norm, whatever I say goes. My opinions are the correct ones, and anyone who disagrees with me is wrong. Because that's how opinions work. Yeah, sure thing, whatever you have to say there, Sal, but I believe we hopefully have enough time for some Imaginite chess. So without further ado, let's get out of here with obviously most of the stars not have been completed, most of the objectives there not have been completed. We did not collect all of the collectibles, we did not find all of the areas, but when we return here, said objectives that have yet to be completed will be corrected upon. So without further ado, we will travel on Sharkfin's boat, but first things first, we're going to check upon our game progress, where obviously we can claim some Imaginite from all of these bonus goals, and man, there is a lot of bonus goals here. We gotta open unique shrines, we gotta collect soul gems, which obviously, given that this is the Soul Seeker series, we have already seeked out plenty of souls along the way. So yes, most of these have already been completed. We have more 3 stars and levels to achieve, we have more Imaginators of each class to obviously build. Then displaying senseis in the Hall of Selfies, that will be something to focus on later in the series, as will be for collecting of legendary selfie frames right there. Then we also have more lock puzzles to be dealing with, but we're only one away from cleaning that objective out, which is neat. We obviously have different races we have unique races and different tracks and modes to be completing as well, so that's one of the only 2 objectives we're yet to have even began tackling, but the rest of these have a good chunk of process having been made on them already. So let's get out of here, and without further ado, what we're going to do is go back to Imaginite Vault and see what chests lie awake for us. Obviously, first there's the gift from Flarewolf, and we summon him in to tackle the fire realm earlier, where we acquire ourselves a hot-headed piece of headgear. Pretty sweet, that. Pretty sweet indeed. Here's ourselves a new voice for Wacky Voice, which came from the fire sensei realm as well. So a common piece, we have a new chest, which I believe is going to be the completion of the insect set, which is, you know, quite the tongue-twisting phrase, trying to say that 5 times faster. The insect set, the insect set, the insect set. You get my point. So the great hammer, a pretty great hammer indeed. I mean, it kind of implies so in the name right there. Ooh, a fairy voice, don't mind if we do. Though I still think that my voice cracker voice would be the best most voice for an Imaginator voice. All the other Imaginator voices wish they was as awesome as my voice, but they can only wish of such things. We have a gift from Robo, an ultimate piece of gear. Because this is obviously our second Robo, then we get a second piece of gear with boosted stats on top of it. Yeah, I didn't even know that I managed to summon in both Robos from the Lost Imaginite Mines packs that I've bought. I didn't know I managed to summon in both Robos on this profile, but here we are, having done so. And I'm okay with that because it means that those stats were indeed boosted. So this right here is going to be from the Egg Rescue arcade game, a rare piece of gear. It's going to be a backpack for Mini Snowman. That's pretty neat, that is. But without further ado, here comes the reward from our grind challenge. A fossil head as part of the fossil set. We're getting that much closer to completing that set. I do remember when I first played through Imaginators, the fossil set was one of the first sets I completed. In fact, the fossil set had a huge inspiration on my first ever Imaginator, where I made like this undead themed fire knight. Because obviously, you know, I'm going to place a fire creation crystal onto Portal as my first creation crystal. There's nothing more natural than that, given that the fire creation crystal is the one thing consistent over all of the different starter packs for Imaginators. So yes, I placed that fire creation crystal onto the Portal, created a Knight class Imaginator, and I started creating it with parts of the fossil set. I even changed my parts as I went along through the game. As I collected new parts, I would basically equip them to my Imaginator. So here we are with the Bone Bazooka, which feels like it could have been part of the fossil set, but I'm pretty sure none of the sets actually include weaponry in their sets, which is definitely a missed opportunity, especially since those bone pistols are also similar in aesthetics to that fossil set. So you could make like a whole skeletal warrior type thing with bone pistols to boot. So here we are with a life sword. That's a very good looking life sword at that. So what do we have here? We have even more pieces. The orc head, the artist hat, and last but not least right there we got a new backpack, the golden wings. Those are some very glorious looking wings indeed. So next up we have some rare gear, a new knight weapon, some epic gear, the guard helmet. In fact, I should really master these much quicker, because what's the point in just standing around and going through these slowly? After all, we have a lot more Imaginite chests to be opening through the course of this series. In fact, I'm pretty sure that 50% of the screen time in this series is going to be dedicated to such things, because this game has such a big reliance upon these opening Imaginite chests. Like I say, it's practically 80% of the gameplay. I find it funny how I jumped from 50% to 80%. That is a pretty big jump, but it's an accurate one, no doubt. You know, 80% of the game is spent opening loot boxes. That sounds about right. These aren't exactly loot boxes, but yeah, made with kind of like the same gotcha type gimmick in mind. Flinteresting, that is indeed a pretty flinteresting hat, to say the least. Well, it's not even a hat, it's a face. You can wear it as your face of your Imaginator, so you can have an Imaginator with Flynn's face. That would just be flintastic, that would. So, some high-tech arm shields. We have even more from our bonus goals. This is very convenient right now. I'm quite enjoying this. Some rare gear, a new backpack once more. The barrel back. I like how they were very alliterative with that name right there. Without further ado, this arm guard piece is going to be the Riveting Arm Armor, because yes, that piece aesthetically is absolutely riveting. I am riveted by the mere sight of such an awesome piece of gear. So we have a Poisonous Bow, and we have another bone-themed piece. But last but not least, this is going to be our final Imaginite chest of the episode. We have some new arm guards, and finally, a sentinel weapon for Kaos Doubler, which looks pretty freaking neat. But that having been said and done, we have already achieved 59% game progress, and the rest of the progression of the game will be dedicated to the future episodes of the Skylanders Imaginators Soul Seekers series. But until those episodes arise, we have an outro to see us through. Until then, I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!